All right, we are live. Manic Vandals Podcast number 7, official again. I am the host of this podcast, Dave, aka Church. With me always are my partners in crime, Keith
Hey.
and Mike.
Hi. I'll still do my Wayne World jokes.
Yeah. Well, hey, we'll do it.
Wayne's World jokes.
We're gonna do it until episode 1,000.
There you go.
Good.
At that point, we'll pivot to
Wayne's World 2.
yeah. Even though that one's not quite as good, obviously.
I'll just have like a pocket-sized underwear that I can pass around to you guys.
Yeah, we can reach through the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like the laundromat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Dave stock instead of Wayne stock.
Yeah, it'll be the biggest magic extravaganza of all time.
Yeah.
All right, so on this episode, I guess just to start off with our little intro, you may notice me and Keith have new cameras that definitely seem to be better. We had a little bit of issues in testing, so pardon our cams if they like freeze up for a few minutes, but they seem better this time. Maybe it's might have been because we're on the phone or something, but yeah, it's definitely looking good so far. So
Yeah, and Mike's never needed adjusting. I mean, look at his; it's perfect.
Yeah, I have one of those controllers.
Yeah, the little like smiley flat orange. Perfect. Although it is slightly cut off on the stream. I'm stealing your thunder.
That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be fine. Okay, so that's out of the way. The next thing is we're going to be begging for a while. If anybody's watching, like please comment, and I'm not begging as in like we're like I'm not begging for like some weird algorithm thing. I'm begging because we want to know if people are actually watching.
Right.
Like we're pretty sure people are watching, but it would give us a nice little boost of confidence if we like knew for sure. So yeah, if you're out there, whatever, just let us know you're alive somehow, and we'll really appreciate it.
Yeah, we just want to know if you're safe. You're okay.
Yeah, tell us how you're doing.
Yeah. We care.
Yeah. We care about our fans, all like 3 of you. Maybe. You exist.
Maybe.
Okay, so we actually have something slightly different this episode. It is magic related, but it's not like gameplay related. So this past weekend the Arena Open happened, and we were sort of talking about it, like whether or not we're going to do it or not. I was extremely against it, and I was pretty much always extremely against Arena Opens. It just always seemed like like it just wasn't quite worth it, like financially. Like if you wanted to do it, that's fine, do it.
Right.
But it just seemed like just a little too difficult. Like the money you had to put in just didn't seem to quite match the money that came out. So yeah. So anyway, I sort of like sat on it and like stewed over it, and I finally realized, well, I could probably just like figure out like what your chances are. That I'm sure there's some like math formula on how to like determine like what your chances are. So I did some I did some like internet research and tried to see if I could figure out like what the exact formula was, and it's actually a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. I thought it would just be like some like weird statistics thing where it's like how many times can you get heads in a row, but the fact that you can like lose three, but it's like you either get to 7 wins or 3 losses. It's like there's not like an obvious formula for that. And I'm sure someone might be listening who's some like statistician and like yelling at me right now, but I couldn't figure it out. I'm sort of a math guy. Like I'm a programmer by trade, so I'm decent at math, but I don't know. This was just like beyond my scope. Uh, Now, having said that, uh, I have a pop quiz for you two, and I know I gave you the answer already, so don't say it, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Um, what are your chances of winning the Arena Open if you win 50% of your games? Anyone? Anyone? I know it.
You don't want us to give you the answer. Well, I
Right.
forgot it anyway.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would say if you win, I say 0. If you're winning 50%, 0 is what I say.
Okay. All right. Well,
I mean, if you had asked me that before you sent me the number, that would
Right.
have been my answer.
Right. Yeah, it's higher than that, but it's not far off. So I guess I will get into it. Um, so sorry, let me close that. Okay. So I actually have some code on my screen. You guys can't see it, but that's all right. I'll just explain it. So the idea is um I wrote a little simulator that says you put in a player like programming object that just has it just had like each player has wins and losses, uh and then this player object gets run through a tournament simulator where it basically just says okay, you have to play at least I guess it's 9 games for this tournament. um so you either uh so for every game it basically says uh you have a 50% chance to win or lose.
Right.
So you either win or lose, and then if you win, that gets tacked onto your wins. The losses get tacked onto your losses. Um, and then it just keeps on doing that until you either get to 7 wins or 3 losses. If that's correct. Yes. Yeah. 7 wins or 3 losses. Um, so through, uh, it runs through 10 million players at a 50% win rate. Um, and then once it has the number of winners, it then says, okay, out of all those players, we're going to run through tournament 2, which is 8 wins, 2 losses. It also takes into account if you get to 6 wins, you get into the money. I would consider that winning because you're getting money out of it. I'm sure that's everyone's like ultimate goal.
Right.
So does that all make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So having said that, I ran this thing with 10 million players, and I did it a few times just to make sure. it worked. And I also tested it with one win and one loss for each tournament. So it was basically just like testing a coin flip. And round one, it came out to be exactly, well, not exactly 50%, but pretty close. And then round two was, if you won round two, it was like 25%. Because, it's like winning 2 coin flips in a row. You have a 25% chance of winning that.
Right.
Winning 1 coin flip is 50%, obviously. So it seems like the math works out. So, yeah, I ran this at 50%, 50% win rate, and the results were pretty interesting. So I'm going to run this again, and I will tell you your chances of winning at a 50% win rate. So, round one, you have, it comes out to about a 9% chance of winning the first day one. I sorry, I keep calling it round one. It's day one.
Right.
Round two's day two. So day one, if you have a 50% win rate, you have a 9% chance of getting to day two. That's actually a lot higher than I thought it would be.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Now, the part that was surprising to me was actually how low the chances of winning day two. Because that goes from 9% all the way down to 0.17%.
Really?
Yeah. So your chances of winning the whole thing, if you have a 50% win rate, is 0.17. That's not 1.7. That's not 17. That's 0.17%. So like 1.7 out of 1,000.
Wow.
So that's so I guess for people like me and Keith who aren't like drafters, I don't see me doing a draft arena open anytime soon.
You don't want to play the lottery?
Well, not a lottery that I'd like fuck up. Like at least I can't fuck up a lottery, but I'd fuck up a draft. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah, it would be bad. It wouldn't be like it wouldn't even be fun.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would give me an advantage would be what was that? The score system and the ranking, the power ranking system, and I don't even know if that would help me.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, the untapped, the overlays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be the only thing that would give me a shot at maybe breaking even. I don't even know if I still would break 50%.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess there are actually a couple of things I wanted to point out before this whole spiel. The first one is I'm not going over this, and I didn't. My initial intention wasn't to like it wasn't to like take down Watsy or something. Like it was merely I felt like I just felt like it's harder than people think it is.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people just go on Reddit and they see like how people like just destroyed in the last arena open, and they think they can do it. And maybe they can, and that's fine. Or they just want to have fun with it, and that's fine. But
Yep.
like if you walk into this thing just thinking you're gonna like walk out with money, it's like it's not quite that easy.
Right.
And the other thing I wanted to say is I talk a lot about win rates here, and it gets a little. I mean, it gets a little tricky to really know what your win rate is, because even if it's like even if you keep track of your wins and losses, like in quick draft, like even if it's ranked or unranked or whatever it is, it won't match what your win rate is in the Arena Open, because it's just kind of like the Wild West, and like you could play against like a pro player, you could play against little Timmy from down the street, you know.
That's who I want to play.
Yeah.
He'll probably still beat me. But you're right. I mean, it's the randomization of who you play against is part of it too.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Now, I guess the part where it gets a little more interesting is if you're someone like Mike, who who's
Yeah.
a little better than the average bear, or whatever you want to, whatever little slogan you want to use. So let's say Mike has a 60% win rate against the Arena Open player base. So if I run this, his chances of winning day one is 23%.
Oh,
So that goes up quite a bit,
yeah.
because 50% win rate is 9% chance of getting in. If you have a 60% win rate, goes up like significantly, goes from 9 to 23.
Wow.
Now, the thing that still is kind of a bummer is, even though that's pretty high, and at that point you get your money back, so uh, I mean, it's not a big deal. I feel like, so you get into day two, your chances of getting into the money it's still only 3.6%.
Really?
Yeah, so it's still pretty low. I mean, obviously, it's the fact you can only lose twice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can only lose once, really, because if you lose twice, then it's over.
Over. Yeah.
So yeah, getting into the money is 3.6%. Your chances of winning is only 1.6%.
Wow.
So
Yeah, the numbers are scary.
yeah, that's that was a lot lower than I thought. For some reason, I always just envisioned like the real hurdle being day one. Like I thought day one was like the pain in the ass, and then day two was just like, just whatever, giggly poof in it, and then whatever. But nah, it's I mean, obviously, uh just looking at like the win requirements, it makes a lot more sense. Uh and the
So what? So out of curiosity, what's the 70% look like?
well, I'm gonna get to that, Keith.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, 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 it's fine. All right, so 70%. Um, so if you have a 70% win rate, God, I can't say that. Your chances of winning day one, it's 46%.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you're like really good, and you get somewhat lucky against your opponents or whatever. I mean, if you have a 70% win rate, you basically have a coin flip of winning day one.
Yeah.
Um, and then for day two, if you have a 70% win rate, um, you have a 15% chance of getting into the money and a 9% chance of winning the whole thing.
Wow. That's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like even if you are really good, it's still pretty hard to get into the money, but uh I mean 15% chance, like if you're good and that's like really achievable, like for, how you are at drafting. Uh I mean that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um and I guess the thing that's interesting is uh you get your gems back if you make it to day 2. So it's basically a coin flip that you're going to get your gems back.
Mm.
Which kind of sucks just in that it's a lot of gems. And if you are good, it's like even if you're good, a 50% chance, I mean, you could easily lose that 2 or 3 times in a row, you know. So it's still a little rough, but I mean, it's like uh if you're good, it's not as hard as I thought it'd be. Uh so I'll do an 80%. We can just go through it quick, and then I'll do a 40%. Um, yeah, so 80%, and I don't know if 80%'s like realistic. Um, Mike, if you know what your win percentage is, we could just put that number in here.
Sure. Yeah, I I started 17 lands like a couple days after this set came out. So I have the number here, but it's actually significantly lower than what it would really be because that first day, which isn't on here, I went 14-2. So
Wow.
let me just add it
Okay.
because I pretty much started 17 lands right when I went into my first week slump of the format.
Right.
So let me see.
All right. Well, you do that. I'll just go over these numbers quick. So
Yeah.
so 80% win rate. You have a 73% chance of winning day 1. Which is kind of funny because
Yeah.
it's like you are very more likely to get in than you are not. Um, and then you have a 40% chance of getting into the money and a
Mm.
30% chance of winning it all. Um,
Wow.
so if you're like God mode at draft, uh, you might as well do it. But if you're that good at draft, you don't need me to tell you to play in the Arena Open when it's draft. So,
That's right.
uh,
That's right.
yeah. So I guess real quick, I'll just do 40% chance because I mean
Yeah.
that's
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 probably where I'll be.
yeah that's more our wheelhouse. Um, a 2.5% chance of getting to day 2, uh, and a point a point 009 chance of winning it all.
There's still a chance.
Yeah. So is that one in that's not one in a that's a 1 in 10,000 chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
How
um
many people make it to day 2? Do you know? I mean, on an estimate, do we know? I'm going to take a bite.
um I don't know. I don't know if they published that anywhere. Uh
Yeah.
I mean it'd be interesting if they did because I could just shove it in here. Uh
Yeah, I haven't seen anywhere that actually does that. I feel like they never give actual numbers to any of this stuff because I feel like that probably shows the size of the population base that plays, and they probably don't want that.
right.
Or
Yeah.
if everybody knows there's a million people in it, they're like, "Oh, screw it, I'm not getting in." You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Um Now having said that, um I this math might be way wrong, but if I'm interpreting this correctly, if you have a 50% chance of winning it, of just like winning, which I think for the sake of like randomness makes it fair to say this. If you have a 0.17% chance of winning it all, that I guess that means for every 1,000 players, there's 1.7 winners. Is that right?
For day 2.
Right.
I mean, that's possible. I mean, that sounds low in like thinking about it in reverse, because I know on 17 lands there is. All right, so yeah, I calculated my win percentage. My win percentage is actually very pitiful still. It's 60.9%. But a lot of the first week really made that dwindle. I know that doesn't mean that much.
Right. Well,
I
that's.
should
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, once the set really clicked for me, and I was like playing, I would say more not the playing, it was more the draft portion where like I read up on enough stuff and I kind of figured out like how to draft this set better. It's totally, I would imagine it's in the mid to high 60s. Because in the last like 10 days I've had 9 trophies, which is pretty good. So I'll check that in a second. But as far as the win, yeah, I'll check that in 1 second. But the trophy decks, let me just see how many trophy decks. I'm assuming it's still the same because they probably updated yesterday. So there's 16 trophies of people that at least play on like that have a 17 lands account. So that's 16 people right there, meaning that would be what 8,000 people or 16,000 people. I forget what the number was exactly. I feel like it's somewhere in between, maybe like 10,000 people that were playing on day 2 at least. That's just counting the 17 lands. So you could be right. I mean, that actually sounds like it might be right.
Well, as a programmer, I'm obligated to say my programs are never wrong, as Keith knows.
Of course not. Yeah. They're always right. They gotta be.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean that actually, yeah, I was thinking more like 60,000 or something. You said what, 1.7?
Right.
Per 1,000?
Right.
Right.
So if there's 16 people, yeah, I mean I don't know how you do that math. You would know how to do that.
Well,
better than me.
I guess if you want it in whole numbers, it would be 17 per 10,000.
Okay.
Yeah, that would, and I could believe that, because in a queue, and you guys tell me because I don't know, but if you got to win 8, right? So you're playing against 8 opponents or possibly 9 opponents if you lose one, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so of those in that queue, yeah, that would make sense. But so you're spitting out more winners than just one person, So
Yeah.
like the trophy, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe someone listening is better with like real statistics.
Like calculus, theoretical math.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know a guy.
I took calculus. I also took a statistics class, but the statistics class was just like an intro. But Yeah, I mean, it just gets very complicated, and I mean, for someone who really knows what they're, uh, really knows their stuff, they might know exactly how to do this, like, very easily, but,
Right.
uh, I figured just as, like, a nice little amusement, uh, I would just write this little thing up, and, yeah, it was a little more simple than I thought it'd be, and, yeah, again, the fact that it tested correctly with, just, like, 1 win, 50%, uh, I think it's right, and I mean, it sounds right, so,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I guess having said all the numbers, uh, I actually feel better about the Arena Open than I did, because before I was just, like, extremely against it for basically anybody, uh, but after having run through these and assuming it's correct, um, I would actually say, uh, uh, if you have if you win 60% of your games, I mean, uh, it's not that bad.
Right.
If you win 70% of your games, uh, it's basically a coin flip to get your money back, and then, if you win that coin flip, you're getting more back than you, started with. So if you're good, uh, yeah, I go for it.
Yeah. Mike should have played.
Yeah, well, honestly, I was kind of busy this weekend with a bunch of things, and I knew it was less about day one. It was more about day two. I knew
Right.
that I had like life obligations, and I knew that in theory, if you make it to day two, which I would have just kept on playing until I made it. It seems like that was like the best way to handle day one. Most streamers that I was watching, most of them actually got it on their first try anyway.
Oh,
And I
wow.
did see, and I was talking to Church earlier. I do think that there was probably softer competition than even like me playing in Diamond for day
Really?
one. Yeah, because well, I think honestly, because these arena opens have historically been constructed based, there's probably a lot of constructed players that still played in it,
Right.
and the fact that they didn't match you up based on rank either. So you kind of were playing almost anybody. Now again, I mean, I'm like a lot of those things don't influence like the skill gap all that often. Like you might get one out of your 9 games you would have to play to get to 7-2. Like maybe like you get like a random bronze level player or like a random constructed player who is just playing in it. Um, but I saw like a lot of like basic play mistakes happening, like things that were very obvious were like things that you never see type thing, that sort of like gifted wins a lot.
Right.
Not that the player you were watching wouldn't have won anyway, but like just things that like made it even easier. So anyways, yeah, like I feel like they sort of designed it so if you want to get to day two, you can pay your way to get in more or less. Now I know like how Church had just explained, like if your win rate's low enough, I mean it might not work out for you, but like if you're like I'd say like my level player, like if I committed like 4 drafts to it, I'm sure I would have gotten to it. Just the way like it looked. Like you know, I've trophied in 4 out of my last 7 drafts on here, uh, like in the last 2 days. So,
Wow.
um,
That's awesome.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean anything big. I'm just saying that I feel like they set it up so it's like you keep buying on day one because like you probably you either get it or you get close, so you just like want to actually get in. So I feel like it was more like a time thing as opposed to a money thing.
Right.
Um, but day two, like there's somebody that I know who they actually are like they vie for number 1 in Mythic every month. So they actually got to 8 wins, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And they were playing all day. So
Really?
yeah, it was like because when you think about it, if it's best of 3, you need to be sort of prepared to play literally 30 matches, because if you're playing for that 8th win and you already have 1 loss, well, I guess that's 27 matches.
Yeah.
Well, no, that would be I guess it's 27. So you have to be prepared to play 27 matches, and that's a lot.
That is a lot. Mentally, that's a lot.
Right. Like the sideboarding, you got to take breaks in between. You are moving up the bracket because they did sort of set it up like that too. I don't know if it like worked perfectly, but like, you were kind of like getting matched up with people that had a similar win rate. So, yeah, that sounds like a lot. So, I was fine not playing it. I was a little upset after the first day because I felt like maybe I missed out, but I remembered the reasons why day 2 was really the important day to know I wasn't going to be able to commit to it properly. So that's fine.
Yeah.
And then that Mythic qualifier comes up later on this month, so I'll sort of just prepare for that. I know like how the purpose of this episode is sort of going into how, like, when you actually look at the odds of it all, it's like a lot of it's pretty tough actually getting there all the way for some of these. But I guess that's where the player, like the player influence comes into play. So I guess that's why people play this game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
I'll just yeah. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, as an aggregate of numbers, it still doesn't. The only thing it doesn't take into it is, well, player variance is one, mistakes and all of that, but the other is the
Right.
deck matchups. That's part of it too. So yeah, but if you have a deck
For
that
sure.
you're 70% win rate, then yeah, I think you're cruising.
Yeah, honestly, in this set, I know I've mentioned it before. There are certain matchups that do seem to go well against certain other ones. But like all the actual archetypes are viable in their own way. It's just more like the percentage odds of your deck getting there versus not in certain color pairs is more dependent on having the rares to have it make sense you went into that color pair.
Right.
But yeah, as far as matchups go, I think there are certain matchups in this format that are probably like, optimal or suboptimal. I don't really know of any that are like too obvious off the top of my head. Like, I know Black White has a very good matchup against a lot of like the other red based aggro decks, because life gain is exactly what a red deck doesn't really want generally.
Yeah.
So there's certain matchups that can definitely work out in your favor, but in a lot of ways, this set you actually can't really force colors, I would say, other than maybe slightly forcing red, black, and blue, white, because they can come together without busted rares. But yeah, I mean, so that part too, it's kind of hard to tell. They did make you draft in just like the public pods also, which actually was probably a good idea because it probably made the draft portion go quicker. But and like it probably de-influenced cheating too, I would guess. Because like, if you're waiting in a pod and you and somebody else in day 1 are sitting there, it's pretty easy to count how many are like in the waiting lobby. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It was fun watching the event. See, the thing for me that I'm not really used to with a lot of these events is that because I don't really follow Constructed too closely,
Right.
I never really paid attention to one of these arena opens. I mean, I only started playing again semi recently anyway, but so for me, it's like that cool glimpse in this very particular window of like some of the stuff that they're trying to do. So Definitely hard to make it, and I can pretty much guarantee everybody I would not have gotten 8 wins. I mean, there's a lot of amazing players, you know. Day one, like I said, almost every streamer I was watching, they got it on their first try, and then when I was watching a lot of them on day 2, when I had the moment to, you know, 1 and 2s, 2 and 2s, 4 and 2s,
Wow.
5 and 2s. You know, I saw the one guy. He had a pretty you know, disappointing final game because it was just like a mana flooding situation, but like to an
Gosh.
absurd degree. And you
Yeah.
know, I've already, you know, as far as the tilting goes, like, you know, I get annoyed on that with like no stakes. Getting mana flooded like 7 or 8 lands in a row, and you're playing for $1,000. Like
Yeah.
that's, you know, that's a lot. But
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
yeah, so you know.
I hate mana floods. And that's like what would get me is like that Yorion deck I was playing with, and it's like I'd have 20 land. I feel like I have 20 lands on. I'm still drawing land. I'm like, where's this crap coming from? You know, it's like there's no way I'm gonna draw every freaking land in my deck. You know.
Yeah. They're adding more lands.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you can draw 40 lanes in a row, not just 25.
Yeah, that's right. The galvanic iteration by lands. That's what they
Yeah.
did. They copied them. Oh my gosh. But
Um,
yeah, go
Mike,
ahead, Dave.
yeah, when Mike was talking, it actually made me realize, and as far as like my test thing, whatever the math is, it's fine for what it is, but it is actually interesting that on day 2, whatever your win rate was, it basically has to go down by some amount, just because the player pool is going to be better on day
Right.
2, obviously.
Yeah.
So if you had like a 70% chance to win on day 1, day 2, I mean, it's not gonna it could be 70%, but it just won't be. I mean, it would have to go down by some amount,
Yeah.
realistically.
Right. So what would be the lowest win rate? Here's the question. What would be the lowest win rate you could get and still win? It'd be 8-1, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
That
I
good.
oh yeah, I mean, Dave, that's definitely more your expertise.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you. What
Oh,
Yeah.
would that be, Dave?
wait, what do you mean?
8-1. What's that win rate?
Oh, well, I mean, that would be, geez, let me get a calculator here. That's just, I think that's just 8 divided by 9, right? Am I understanding that correctly? Yeah,
I think
it's an 88% win rate.
so. That's what you need on day 2 to win the money.
Oh, yeah, that's a much easier way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty insane actually. Cuz I mean that takes a lot of skill and a lot of luck.
Right. None.
88% chance to yeah.
Oh.
You does that take into account the best of 3 nature of each match too?
No. No, yeah, sorry. For like all like the wins I was talking about, it's purely like match wins.
Oh, okay. Because I saw on somebody's Twitch, like the reason why a lot of like the absolute best players either prefer Magic Online or best of 3 is because the higher your win rate is, the easier it is to win a best of 3 match, because like in the long run, having more opportunities to win at that win rate makes it less
Mm,
like chance based.
right.
Like if you have a 75% chance of winning 100 matches, you're going to win 75 of them each
Yeah.
time or whatever. So like that makes it more like 90% to win that match or whatever it would end up being, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Um
Right.
Yeah,
so
the only thing I hate about best of 3, and I know it's the pure form, but it's just like on an arena, and I look at it as if you're on the ladder, to me, it's more of a time thing. You know what I mean? I could play 30 minutes in best of three, right? Three matches, 10 minutes a match, and still lose. And then I could take that same uh, time and go over to best of one, and I may lose one, win two. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just time.
Well, I do in a practical sense. I do agree. Like I can't sit there against some control guy and just just sit there and take it. But
Yeah.
but uh apparently for sake of ranking up, the argument for best of three is you can win two games. Like if you win two games of the best of three, like if you win two and lose one,
Mhm.
you get 2 pips for ranking up.
Right.
So like you still lost a game, but you went up 2. Whereas if you were playing best of one and you won 2 games and lost one, you would only go up 1 pip. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, didn't look at it like that. Yeah,
Um,
that does make sense.
yeah, but still, I can't do it. I need like I need that concede button like right there on my screen anytime I want it. So yeah, I'll stick to best of one anyway. But that's the argument for best of three.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I dipped into it there, for a little bit, and I was like, oh, it just killed me. I won my first one, and then I went to the second one. It was a long, grueling match, and it's like, oh, and then I ended up losing. I was like, this sucks. I went back to best of one.
Yeah.
So
Um. Yeah.
so an 88% win rate, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's impressive though, that those guys, and people did it. That's impressive.
Oh yeah. I mean that's yeah. I don't know. I was gonna say I wish it was more like the requirement had more wins and more losses, so it was a little less random. But uh, at that point, you'd be playing more than like 30 games, so that'd
Oh
be
yeah.
yeah. So that'd be pretty rough. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, that is
so
crazy.
uh,
Yeah.
hey, sorry, this is unrelated, but Mike, can you turn that TV down like a tiny bit? I think it's starting
Oh,
to
you can hear that?
yeah, it's starting to like slide
That was
in.
him talking.
It's a tiny bit. It's not a big deal, but
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, so all right. Pretty pretty amazing.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the overall gist of it. My little experiment. Um.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, it was interesting, and yeah, overall, my uh, I would say my opinion of the whole thing actually went up a bit if you're good. So in summation, get good. And yeah, you'll get money in the Arena Open, apparently.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
yeah, so unless there's any final thoughts on that end, we can move on to the next topic.
Uh, yeah, I know. I think that just about covers it.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to pivot to Commander. Uh, and just as like a very just to get this out in the open, we are not Commander players,
No.
like at all. Uh, me and Keith, we played one paper game of Commander.
Mhm.
It was Omnath versus What was the name of your guy? I forget his name.
Andre, was that it?
It's like the weird name. It doesn't sound
Yeah,
like a vampire, but it is.
it's Andre. What was it?
Yeah, it's like
Anya.
Anya.
yeah, Anya Falconwrath.
Yeah, don't mess with the Falcon Rest, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my deck was a little. It's like your deck was like a precon, like
Yeah.
one of those like obviously unoptimized precons, and mine had like one too many like stupid artifacts in it. So I squeaked out the win from what I remember.
Mm-hmm. You did.
But
Trying to remember what that deck was you had. Yeah, that
yeah,
was
it was Omnath, Locus of Mana.
yes, the Locust of Mana. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like that's like the card to start with when you're like trying to make your first commander deck.
Mm.
Uh, and I'm gonna explain this as if I'm like a commander player, and trust me, I'm not. But the idea is it's called a Voltron deck, where you just like pump up the absolute shit out of your commander,
Mm-hmm.
and just like disregard anything else. But it's a fun deck for sure. I mean, I can see it getting a little stale just because literally you're just casting shit on your commander and that's it.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty fun like pulling out that card from your deck and seeing like what stupid random like old broken artifact you're gonna like slap on them.
Right.
I forget which ones we had, but
I don't know, but I hated it.
yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, you could if your deck like had like real cards in it, it would probably be a lot easier. You just need some like removal cards, some exile stuff. It would have taken care of it. Um, so having said that, um,
I'm pulling up the Voltron deck now. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, I guess there are a couple things we were going to touch on. One is the infamous Ristic Studies question.
Yes. Go
Um,
ahead.
I'm just gonna bring it up so I say it correctly. Okay, so apparently it's a hot topic. Ristic Studies, it's the enchantment. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1. So obviously in Commander, that can get a little ridiculous. Because there's three other players, but they're all just casting shit left and right because I mean that's like the point, you know.
Right.
So do you pay the 1 to halt the card draw?
Who's that? Who are you asking first?
I don't know who would like to go first.
I'm assuming the answer is you do it.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, well, I guess the I guess the dilemma is it's like are you the person like if you pay and someone else doesn't, then they're getting benefit for free and you're getting like a detriment for nothing, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess you have a few options. You can like read the room and see like are other people paying it, and it's like if they're paying it, you can also pay it.
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of I feel like the correct answer is no one pays it. and then they just get so many cards it like doesn't matter, because it's like drawing cards gets to a point where you just have a million cards and then that's just like whatever. It's almost like a wash.
Yeah, they've got to discard,
Right.
at some point. If they're
uh,
drawing 5 cards a turn, that's if everyone only casts one spell,
right. I mean, I sort of feel like I don't know what like the math is on this like on average, but like if they're drawing like 6 or 7 extra cards every turn, uh like I don't know. I don't know. I
And
mean,
they're
I
blue, so they're probably digging anyway,
yeah. I don't know. I guess it depends on the situation. I mean, it's like if you have like 30 lands out, it's like who cares? But uh
But they can have that down on turn 3 or 2,
right. Yeah, if it comes out early, that's pretty rough.
Well, is there is this like a degenerative card that everybody hates in Commander? Is that the idea here?
Well,
Everybody hates.
it's sort of like Smothering Tithe. I can bring that one up too. Like you might remember that card from Standard.
Oh, Tithe? I remember Tithe.
Uh, like
But
it was like in Standard, it was like at most like a minor annoyance because it was like 4 mana, like not much happens. But uh, this card's $30 because of Commander and how good it is.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's a slightly, I mean, it's a different card, but it's like the same idea where like everybody has to like deal like it's basically like everybody's getting taxed or you get something out of it. Uh,
Right.
so uh, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it depends on the situation. Like we could sit here and talk all day about like what you're gonna do. If I'm ever playing Commander, it's like it's gonna be like a meme game.
yeah.
So I say fuck it, just let the person have their cards. Uh, so that's my stance on it until further notice. But
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and like I said, we don't know any. Well, we played one time, you and I, but like I just come across this and it says the best commander cards are Soul Ring, Cultivate, Cyclonic Rift. I don't know that one. Smothering Tide, Rhystic Study, Demonic Tutor. Yes, that makes sense.
right,
Eternal Witness, Lightning Greaves, Swords to Plowshares, of course, and Arcane Signet.
yeah. Here's a random thought I had. We could we could start a Commander journey. Because it's like we're basically all just starting from like absolute scratch.
Yeah.
Because it's like we have like a total of like .6 Commander decks out of all three of us.
Yes, we
So
Yeah,
do.
you're right.
uh so yeah, maybe we could catalog our journey to becoming master or commander players.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's going to be your archetype if you choose an archetype?
Well, oh, okay. I know you're I know you're sort of trolling
Yeah,
because
I am. I'm just
I
curious.
I this is gonna be a slightly long explanation, but and I started to go over this before, but I tried really hard to like make a commander deck. Uh, like I was on TCG Player for like fucking hours, like making a list of cards, like finding out like which ones I didn't have to get because I basically have something similar. Um,
Right.
and I mean it just got to be like too much. Uh, and I basically just gave up. but one of the decks was actually it was gonna be the Gallia. If you remember that like freaking satyr card from
How
Theros.
do you spell it?
I think it's 1L. Yeah. No, it's 2 L's. Gallia.
Yeah, I remember that card.
Yeah,
It's a red and green. It's Gruul.
yeah, of course it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I mean it checks all my boxes. It's cheap
It's
and
Hayes.
yeah, it's cheap and it's like a meme tribal, but it also has card draw, which is like hard to come by in Gruul, like good card draw. So, well, I wouldn't say that's good card draw, but it's card draw. So yeah, I was gonna do that. But yeah, I mean it was just like a lot, and then I was like, oh well, I'll just fucking play on Arena, and not like sort through all these like fucking cards.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I do have that Omnath deck. I don't think I like dismantled that. So
I still have my Anja, ever how you say it.
on, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Mike,
So
Anya.
Anja.
Anya.
Anya.
well, yeah, you better beef it up, and we're gonna have a rematch on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so what about you, Mike? What would be your archetype?
Are you talking about paper, or are you talking about like some sort of arena thing?
No, we're talking paper.
Well,
Yeah.
I think realistically, I would have to go mono white.
Okay.
You could do Heliod. I love that card.
I do too. I love Heliod.
Yeah, that sounds overpowered. Yeah, I would do Heliod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, because most of the paper cards that I sort of collected in whatever window that was, I mean, that was roughly like 12 to 8 years ago. So that was like kind of in the Shards of Alara block up until I think we stopped getting cards at Scars of Mirrodin. I don't remember buying any cards after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I think realistically, I had a bunch of like white weenie related cards from then. So I would probably use that as my base.
Well, actually,
I don't know. I don't know how good that would really be.
I think if we were like just starting out, you might want to start with SRAM, that artifact guy.
Right.
Just because I know we have a lot of like the old equipment that's like either really crappy or like really good.
Yeah, we got a lot of that.
The senior edificer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like one of the few play sets of like a
Well, that card's not broken a bit.
Yeah, that'd be
yeah, like I
good.
oh, I was just gonna say, I had a playset of Stoneforge Mystics. I don't really think I had like any good artifacts to go with it though. I had the one sword, but I think it was like the worst sword out of like all of them. It was the Sword of Body and Mind. So I'm sure I would be able to play Sword of Body and Mind in my deck. But yeah, I'd have to look into it.
Yeah. Well, Christmas is coming up.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna-
It is. So I think for me, I would lean one of well, I'm definitely going to do a vampire deck. That's a given. And then I've got so many goblins that I think
Yeah,
I
that'd be
could
cool.
I think I could throw a goblin deck together. So that would be my other one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Goblins has plenty of support. I like through all this talking, I don't know what's like. I forget what like the S tier decks are. I did look that up.
Dinosaurs are huge, aren't they? Or are they?
Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, we're talking like not competitive decks.
Right.
Uh,
We're talking fun. Yeah.
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 Which is
No, I'm
fine.
not
I just want to be
at
clear.
all.
Like when we say something's good, we mean like good for us, like in
Yeah.
our territory.
There you go.
There was for some reason in Commander, I was sort of infatuated with Jeskai.
Mhm.
Like there's this one guy, Shu Yun, the Silent Tempest. It'd be like a monk. It's not monk tribal, but uh I mean it's like he has prowess, which I've always had a fondness towards prowess. And I
Mhm.
feel like you could just put a lot of like cheap like cantrips and burn spells in here and like pump spells and shit.
Mhm.
Uh
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be amusing. Uh
So, huh? We've got everything legal.
um
I don't know.
yeah, but I mean see this was my problem cuz like I wanted a Gallia meme deck. I wanted a Shu Yun deck and then I wanted a mono black deck. Like I wanted that Crick son of Yawgmoth.
Yeah.
So like I wanted 3 decks. I was gonna get like I don't know 200 cards for all these decks, and then what, you know? So I sort of put on the back burner, uh, but who
Wow.
knows? Maybe we'll have to bring it back.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking um this this is it's wide open to what you can do. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world's our oyster.
Yeah. Oh my lord.
Well, maybe for homework tonight we'll all pick a deck. Well, did I say tonight? I'll for next time.
There we go.
Our homework will be to at least like pick a deck and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
I know one of the infamous discussions. This discussion was like a super hot topic for a while. Like how to how to like so you have a commander deck and you're gonna go like play with other people for the first time. Like
Right.
how you explain to them how strong your deck is. Uh, like there were all sorts of like rating systems. Like oh my deck's a 0 to 10, a 0 to 8. Uh, there might have been like a 0 to 5. Uh, I don't. I feel like you guys can look it up quick, and I'll just explain my little
I'll look it
spiel
up.
on it.
Go ahead.
Um, my little
Yeah.
spiel is there's 3 kinds of decks. All right. There's the meme deck where you just want to go and it's like you don't care if you lose every single game for the rest of your life. You're just there to, hang out with friends and shoot some cards around.
Yeah.
So there's like the meme deck, and then above that, it's like a much I was gonna say bigger, but that's probably not true. The next level is like it's a deck where you built it to win, but it's not like competitive. It's not EDH.
Right.
Um, so it's like you go with the intention of winning, but obviously it's not competitive. And then above that, it's just competitive where you should expect like whatever, like proxies of every single real dual land, guys cradles, whatever else, like 100% perfect deck.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, some people get like, I mean, there's like, I don't know. Have you guys seen anything yet? I do see this one. There's this like image I have here. It's like a 1 to 10, but even in each number, there's like more categories.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Oh no, I don't see it yet.
Well,
But yeah,
Well, I've got this, and this was from 2011. So, and it was on MTG Salvation. So they're ranking competitive decks like Grenzo at a 9, Prime Speaker Zagana at 8, Rasputin at 7, Olivia, Mobilize for War
all right.
6.5. Yeah,
Um,
stuff like that.
look up a guide to power levels in EDH,
Oh,
and
yeah, that's
then it's the first imager link.
yeah, I see that. Yep.
Um,
there it is.
so yeah, I mean, it's like very. I mean, I think it's fine. It's just like a lot. I feel like it doesn't have to be quite this detailed.
Okay, so an upgraded precon is considered a tune deck.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this, like I would combine like 1 through 3, and then 4, like 4 through 8 would be the middle, and then 9 and 10 would just be uh true competitive.
Hmm. Turn count. Is that how many turns it takes before you lose?
I that's like that no, it's like how many turns until you win. Like there's some decks out there that apparently
That was on a 0.
right. Yeah, yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
the details, but it's like you get those cards where it's like at the start of the game do blah blah blah.
hmm
So uh yeah, I mean that's I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't I would personally never look at Commander like that, but I mean obviously people do, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not. I mean, obviously that's not our wheelhouse. So
No.
not
I could
today.
see. No, I could see playing in the red zone.
yeah,
The
Um,
the 10 to 14 turn win. Oh my gosh.
yeah. Um,
hmm.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna make the turn count 0 power level 10 deck tonight.
You would.
I'm gonna
what?
go on an ordering spree.
Yeah.
Well, hey, per our proxy conversation, you can just print out whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can just have like literal paper commander deck. Tier 0.
Yeah, I need to print out my Black Lotus.
I think yeah, those are banned in Commander.
Were they really?
Yeah, I think so. Commander ban. Yeah. Yeah, and so is the Ancestral Recall.
Of course, yeah. Chaos Orb.
Uh, yeah, all the
Library of Alexandria. So I was looking at whatever vintage.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Recurring
Emrakul's band.
Nightmares. We're in Academy. Yawgmoth's Bargain.
How about the anti cards?
Yeah, those are all cards I refer to anti-mechanic.
Oh, you're not allowed to take someone's Black Lotus after like
Yeah.
a mana screw win.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I was a little disingenuous with the power of my deck, but turns out your Annie was Guy's Cradle, so sorry, sir.
I just lost $800.
But you had fun playing Commander.
That's right.
Oh right, it was fun. I forgot.
Yeah.
I wonder which format has like the highest and lowest tilt rates. You should run a regression on that one.
I have a feeling I I don't know. I would say Commander's probably the lowest.
Right.
I feel like Standard would be the highest.
Yeah, I can
I don't
see
know.
that. I feel like Limited would have a I feel like it's probably a competition between Limited and Standard. I feel like Standard, I don't really know what it's like to be in that like upper, of course I'm talking about it through the context of Arena, but I feel like the people in like that upper diamond tier that like try perpetually to get into Mythic, or like the people that are in Mythic that can't crack like top 1200, or like, you're playing. I think that's the main difference between Limited and Constructed. It feels like you have to play like a lot more games in Constructed.
Yeah.
So I could see like when you're like on that cusp and like you go like on a cold streak, and then like you have to win like 50 games in a row to get back to where you were. Like that's probably pretty tilting.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's like I'll say this: what's most aggravating about it, and I've been on that cusp or on that bubble at like 96 and 97%, and you're just right there, and
Yeah.
and then you play a guy that's a 94, right, and you drop down to 96, and it's annoying, but to get back, what it boils down to though is you need to win like 2-3 in a row, and it'll put you up. And I mean, it's annoying. It's like I got in like 700 season before last, and then the new set came out, or maybe it's when the new set came out. It was before that, and when the new set came out, it just washed me out. Everybody was, all the streamers were pumping in the new cards. Format changed, and yeah, just made it rough on me.
Yeah, you gotta pony up.
I
So
know.
it's only what, like $400 for the whole new set.
I know. Look, if anyone is on Twitch right now, any donations are accepted.
Yeah.
So yeah, you already see we're trying to get into Commander here.
Yeah.
So
Actually, while you mentioned that, if anybody is watching on Twitch right now, just say something in chat, just so we know we're not just talking to thin air. I mean,
yeah,
we are recording this, so it's not like it's not 0 people, but we just want to know somebody's actually like watching live. Uh, so
yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Please let us know.
uh, But
Ante cards. I don't know if I have any. I may have one of those. Do you guys have any of them? I'm sidebarring, but
I don't know. Do we? I feel like we don't.
the jeweled bird. Is that the what? Yeah, I think I have that one.
I don't think so.
If we did, we probably lost it because of Auntie.
You can't blame your aunt for that.
Yeah, I can't picture one. And I went
Yeah.
through the cards somewhat recently. I feel like I would remember that, but I don't know.
I'll try from below. I don't think I have any of
I'm
those.
sure that would be the most tilting. Playing an anti-era.
Oh
Although,
Lord, yeah.
I mean, back then maybe people just didn't give a shit. I mean, I guess when those cards were around, people didn't know like the like what the cards would be worth.
Right.
So maybe they just sort of viewed it as like paper. You're just like
Yes.
giving away.
Yeah. So Jewel Bird, was that Antiquities? I guess Arabian Nights. Um, that came out then. So
Old
yeah,
bird.
yeah. That's the black border is showing Arabian Nights, but
Draw a card. Put your contribution to the ante into your graveyard and place it.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
so that's like cheating the ante, I guess.
yeah,
Interesting. So I guess the idea was like you would be annoyed if the other guy played this.
right.
Huh.
So you could ante somebody and throw your Jewel Bird in there if you're going to lose. You know?
Oh, and, according to the ruling, it doesn't replace one card of the ante, it replaces all of it.
Oh my gosh. So you steal the ante.
uh,
Oh,
yeah, well, good thing you still have that. It might come in handy one day if Annie comes back.
yeah,
Rules are rules.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till Mike buys this commander spree.
Yeah,
Oh
oh,
god.
your commander became part of the ante, but I have my jewel bird.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll just take the cradle instead.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take the cradle, we'll call it even.
Yeah, yeah. You can keep your commander. Oh
Yeah,
my
this is
gosh.
yeah, I love the scheming of the ante. They should have made a card anti, so she's like a nice ant.
Yeah. I'm I'm sure they probably thought about that in what was it, the Untapped, or what was that spoof set they made that's worth a
Like
lot of money?
unglued,
Yeah.
Unglued.
unglued. I think that was the very first one, yeah.
Um, this is probably a discussion for another day, but apparently there's another unset, like very like I think it just started to get spoiled.
Really?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Um, the lands are really fucking nice looking.
Oh, yes, that Infinity, right?
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the lands. The lands look great.
Yeah, I personally never really cared for like fancy lands. Uh, my favorite lands are actually like the ones we have, like the uh I don't know what the names of them are, just like those like original basics, you know,
Mhm.
like the art for those.
The original basics.
Yeah.
Well, that might not be the right word. Just like the original art, I guess. Like you know, like all the ones we have.
Yeah, we have like thousands of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
I
of them are
love them.
worth
Yeah,
money.
they're nice. Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's one thing I don't know if we ever really went through was like looking at our random basic lands to see if any of them are like coveted.
Yeah, there's like a red one
Ah.
that's worth some money and revised, I think. I didn't have any. I went through my stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess based on this discussion, we'll probably be looking at our old collections, getting them dusted off,
Yeah,
seeing what kind of damage we can do.
absolutely. I know I will. So, yeah, that's I'm gonna be digging out my vampires.
Yeah.
And so Shadow is legal. So there may be a change in my plans since Shadow's legal.
Wait, what?
Shadow's legal.
You mean Death's Shadow or something else?
Oh, the Shadow ability. Have you?
The what?
Yes, Tempest block. Shadow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
yeah. I don't remember the ability. Let's see.
they're unblockable. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
That's all they are. It's just unblockable.
Interesting.
And slivers are legal too.
Are they?
They're Tempest block.
The only thing I really know about them is like some of those
Oh
cards are just like nutty expensive.
no, they're. Don't worry about them. They're not bad. Do not
All
worry
right.
about them. I think I have a few. I think I have to go back and look. That's why I
Uh,
was wondering what was legal. So, yeah.
well, I think in like a general sense, pretty much everything's fair game.
Wow, Sliver Queen's $288. There's one for $6.99. I
Well, you
hope I
can.
still have mine.
I mean, if you want to make us, I guess while we're on this discussion, and we'll see how far this goes, but uh, you know, based on our proxy discussion, I really don't give a shit what gets printed here.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Well, what if I just draw Sliver Queen and the mana cost on it? Right. Sliver Queen. 7/7. She is gonna impregnate your chest and uh grow babies out of you.
yeah,
That's what's
we'll just take proxies to an even further level and just like make our own cards like as we play.
there we go.
Yeah. Oh, I need a 10/10 for 2 mana.
Here, give me my Sharpie. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Hmm. Good stuff.
Yeah, it is. Silliness. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Silliness.
Um. Hmm. All right. Well, I guess we know our plans for next time.
Oh yeah.
Unless well actually, well yeah, the next podcast we do, cuz there's no like real events until the 18th, right?
Right. That's
Because
Not
that's
yeah, not to my knowledge.
yeah, so
we're signed up for the standard tournament, right? That's 18th.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
so mine's on the 18th and 19th also.
It's not
Yeah.
about you right now, Mike.
Yeah.
It's me and Dave.
I'm just trying to put in my 2 cents.
Yeah.
uh
You're much more important than we are. So
Yeah,
I
right.
will be excited to see what happens with yours.
yeah. Yeah, I mean I'm sure that'll be like the real story
Oh
of
yeah,
that
it
weekend.
is. Yeah, it
Um
is.
but the tournament we're in, what it's the Degenerate Gaming
Yeah,
tournament.
DG. Yeah,
It's free. I don't know if there's still openings, but it was free to get in.
yeah. There was 100. What was the cap on it? 124, I think. Right?
I I'm not even sure, but yeah, I mean, hey, it's a free tournament. Whatever, can't go wrong with that.
Yeah,
So,
that's financial works out there.
yeah, you don't need to run a simulator to determine that's a fair deal.
Yeah,
So, yeah, so a lot of big stuff happens on the 18th, but before then, yeah, maybe we'll get some commander shenanigans shoved in here.
yeah.
Um,
That
so
would be now. Yeah, but now Brawl is different. That's 60 cards. Yeah, we can't do that.
yeah, I don't know. I have a lot. We went over this already, but I don't like Brawl. It's like it's only standard. Uh, Arena's not the like in terms of like commander. It's not like the friendliest place. I mean, at least for me, it's like if I'm playing commander, the idea is you want to like enjoy yourself with like the person you're playing against,
Right.
and it's like on Arena, you're just gonna get spammed with like good game and nice, and your go and whatever else there is. So, uh, uh,
Yeah.
so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I still want him to bring Commander to Arena and just don't brawl. Uh,
Yeah, I agree. I think that would probably make Arena grow. You know what?
yeah.
So as of 12/4, which that was 2 days ago, they posted 31 of 128 were enrolled.
Oh, that's
So
it.
yeah,
Jeez, it's gonna be like me versus you and like the
you
final.
watch. You watch what I say. We will play each other. How much do you want to bet? It's
uh,
like our first match will probably be me against
yeah,
you. Like crap. It's like
yeah.
that's
Well,
my luck.
I would actually be fine with that because one of us would get to the next round then.
Well, that's true.
Uh,
Yeah, but I said, I was like, yeah, this never fails. This is what happens,
yeah. Um, yeah, I thought there'd be a lot more people in there by now, but maybe towards the end it'll fill up faster.
People start chunking in. So
Yeah.
I was trying to go to the link, but I can't find it.
Actually, having said that, Mike, you might as well just sign up for it if you want. Like, even
Yeah,
if you
why
don't
would
play in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're at 40 right now. Yeah, they're at 40. So they're one third, almost one third full. So,
Yeah, what is it? $500 for number one?
oh, they're giving money? Mike, you better register.
Oh, sorry. I think it just. Well, let me look it up. I don't want
It says prizes for top 8.
to.
It's been okay, I think.
Uh. Okay. Well, I'm probably on wrong information. I'm on a Degenerate Gaming Open from 2 months ago, but it says $500 prize pool.
Hmm.
So that's where I got the number from. But either way, I mean, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, let me see
So,
if I recognize any of the people that are signed up right now. I see Dave.
wait, where do you see this? I was having a lot of trouble like finding the right.
It is. You want the link? I
Yeah,
can put it in.
I do that.
Yeah, copy link. Yeah, that way Mike can get in there. All right, put it in general.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. You watch. One of us will play each other. That's the way it works.
Yeah. Oh, there's the list. Okay.
Yeah. Am I
Wait,
on there?
I don't see me. Am I on the
I
second page?
No, you're on the first page.
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it has my fucking name.
I know you need to go and change your profile. You need to go change your profile.
Oh, it looks like a couple other people also did that.
Yeah. I would just go change your profile.
Yeah.
Do your screen name. Change your screen name.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but
No, but
it's not like I'm that fucking famous.
not yet. You're not.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
But many years from now, someone's gonna listen to this and be like, "Wow, he wasn't famous."
Oh my gosh. So there is a.
But
Let
wait,
me ask
how do you even change that? Oh, I
go to
guess I
profile.
just take my name out
Yeah, take your name out
and then I'll just put in Turge.
hmm
Yeah. But wait, it says last name's required.
Wait a minute.
Maybe people just don't put a real last name in.
How'd I do mine? Let me look at mine. So my profile is, yeah, I do have a last name.
Yeah, but it doesn't like I have Charge in there as the Arena Direct Challenge ID.
hmm
Oh, public profile. That might no.
You went to your Melee account profile?
Oh, I see the problem. There's a checkbox that says display username by default,
Mm.
and it's not checked for me. So okay, so now back to this link. It'll probably show. Yeah. All right. Good.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't recognize anybody except for you. Mike might recognize somebody. Wait,
No.
Jaffer. He's in DG. I think he's one of the moderators for DG, isn't he? He's up on the screen right there, isn't he? Yeah, he is. He's a content
Oh, interesting.
Adamant. Astral's Flame. I have heard of that one.
Huh. Interesting. I guess we'll have to get the everyone has their Twitter or Twitch stuff.
Yeah.
We'll have to get ours filled up.
Yeah, we will. It's in profile. Yeah, we get that done.
All right, what do you think? Should we wrap this sucker up? Is there anything else we want to touch on?
No, I think this was a masterpiece.
Yeah. Pretty much. All right. Well,
It always is.
yeah. Yes, it is.
Yep.
All right. So that was Manic Vandals podcast number 7 in the books. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Yes.